And I yield some time. The senator from Massachusetts is here. I believe he wants to speak as well to this issue and to this amendment, Mr. President. So I would yield as much time to him as he may consume.
The senator from Massachusetts.
Mr. President, thank you. And the senator for yielding. And I stand here in support of the Thune amendment and thank him for his leadership on this good first step. It's to me, it's pure common sense. I agree with everything you've said in terms of, we've overspent, and it is time now to draw a line in the sand and lead by example and show the American people that, yeah, you're doing without and we can do without. And we're only talking 5%, and it's $22 billion. God, I remember, it seems like about 10 years ago that I got here, but I remember being in the Massachusetts legislature and we're throwing around just millions. Here they throw around trillions like it's nothing. And I know it's only $22 billion that we can save, which is still real money where I come from, and it's over $300 billion potentially over a 10-year period. But it's time. It's time to start leading by example. It's time to show that we can also make some cuts, and quite frankly, I don't think they'll hurt. And we need to constituents and to the rest of the world that we're trying to finally get our fiscal house in order. I just met with our representatives from Great Britain, and God, they're across the board. I think it's 25% cut across the board. They recognize that they do not want to be in a similar financial predicament as other people in that region, other countries in that part of the world. And they are sending a very powerful bipartisan message to the people in that country that we have to get our fiscal house in order. We need to start sending that very same powerful fiscal message to do the same thing. Because I remember when I got here back in the beginning of January, the national debt was about $11.95 trillion. And as Senator Thune just pointed out, I believe it's at over almost 13.3 or 4 trillion right now. That's less than 7 months. And our deficit is over $1 trillion, and at what point do we eliminate the inefficiencies and duplications throughout our federal government? As Senator Coburn has identified cuts in many wasteful programs, I agree with him. I mean, you got to start somewhere. We have to do, can't we just do like one thing? Just one. That's it. Just one thing to show the American public that, yeah, we get it. We feel your pain. We get it. It's time. They're sending a very powerful message. They sent it in January. They're sending it again. They're tired of the overspending. They're tired of the deficit spending. They're tired of the increased taxation. They want us to get our fiscal house in order. And commend Senator Thune and his leadership and Senator Coburn for recognizing and taking the time to find out all these duplicate programs. It's time. So thank you, Mr. President.
Senator from Massachusetts yield. Would you yield for a question?
Of course.
I just asked the senator from Massachusetts if he is hearing from his constituents back in his state the same message that I hear from my constituents in South Dakota, and that is that we are experiencing economic difficulties. In this economic downturn, many people have lost jobs, many people have had a loss of income, many family budgets are being squeezed. Does the senator from Massachusetts hear the same thing from his constituents that I hear from South Dakotans? And that is, we want the federal government to lead by example, and rather than growing at 4, 5, 6 times the rate of inflation, actually take some steps to get its spending under control in the same fashion, the same way that we're having to do it. That's what I hear from people in South Dakota. They are tired. They think the federal government is growing too fast, has gotten too big, and they think it's a runaway train, and especially when it's running $1.3 trillion annual deficits. I think 5% on this particular continuing resolution, this funding bill, is a modest amount that most, at least of my constituents, would think is reasonable. And I would just ask the senator from Massachusetts if he thinks that his constituents believe that 5%, that this federal government could live with 5% less at a time when they're having to live with a lot less in many circumstances.
Well, Mr. President.
Senator from Massachusetts.
Thank you. Well, I thank the senator for his question, and and I want to commend his constituents on having the foresight to instruct him and let him know that they're hurting, because the people in my state are hurting also, and they're absolutely concerned about the disconnect between Washington and my state, the state I represent, I should say. And what I noticed not only in Massachusetts but my travels throughout the country is that the people in Washington go around and saying, you know what, you're great, and everything's wonderful. There's no recession in Washington. All the restaurants are full. The housing market's great. Everything's great around here. But outside that, they say, you know what, he doesn't get it, she doesn't get it. We're going to go and make a statement pretty darn soon. And they are absolutely looking for fiscal leadership. They're absolutely, listen, there's a role for government. Absolutely a role for government, but government needs to know when to get out of the way also. It needs to know when to get out of the way and let free enterprise and free market take shape, and let us, you know, kind of just get the economy going through something besides, you know, government-created jobs. So I thank you for your question. I agree wholeheartedly. Yes, there's a great concern that we're overspending, we're overtaxing, we're overregulating. And we need to make sure that this gesture, it's 5%. I don't want to throw billions around like it's not money, but compared to, I guess, the trillions that you're all used to dealing with up here, it's not big money. But I'll tell you what, it's a very, very good start. It sends a very powerful message to the people in Massachusetts and throughout the rest of this country and the world that, you know what, the group of senators here have finally gotten together and sent a message to the rest of the administration and to the folks that we're going to start to just do one thing, just one, to start to get our fiscal house in order.
I would